Hello, Admiral Thrawn here. I am making a preview video for Age of Petty Kings. Here I will be fighting a massive battle with me playing as the Storm Kings and basically the entire Stormlands here on my side and the entire Reach here on the enemy side. This is going to be a huge battle. I want to show off some of the new rosters and whatnot. Yeah, don't expect me to win because I'll mostly be going around the map looking at stuff. And don't expect a terribly good frame rate because there's like 12,000 troops in the battlefield right now. But anyways, let's get to it. I am playing as the Storm Kings and all. They'll have several recruitment regions and all. These guys here in gray, they're from the Dornish Marches. Here, let's move my archers back into a better position here. And then I have my guys here from the main Stormlands and all that, with their like their sigils and whatnot. Dornish Marches guys. And I already get taking hits. Ooh, that's not good. I have some guys here from the Kingswood, like House Fell and Buckler and whatnot. I have my main core of heavy knights here that I'm going to be keeping in reserve for the time being, as well as some outriders. And all the different regions have somewhat different recruitment types and whatnot. So, for example, here, the Dornish Marches have mediocre archers. The Greenwood has excellent longbowmen. Here we have our excellent crossbowmen. Here are Stormwardens. Here's some guys here from House Peak. They'll be a separate kingdom, but here I have the entire Reach on one side. They have excellent longbowmen as well, which I need to fix. These guys are broken. Never mind. So they're not all quite finished, but anyways. I have, they have pikemen, they have regular soldiers here. One thing I try to do is make the Andal rosters less samey, so while they still do have mostly the same sort of stuff, there are differences. These guys here are House Ashford, House Peak, whatnot. Then these guys up here are some of House Manderley, or sorry, House Gardner's bannermen, like the Manderleys and the Osgreys and whatnot. They bring lots of sort of militia type units, but they're pretty good. I have the Red Wines here. These here are their Marines, which are basically sort of Pila units where they have their Pila and they have their swords. They're pretty good. They're kind of like Roman legionaries, but obviously not as awesome and disciplined and stuff. Then here we have the Hightowers. They're going up against my bannermen over here, the Estermonts, who are moving towards me, I guess. The Estermonts, they're divided between the units from the Rainwood and units from the actual Narrow Sea. So these here are some Rainwood units with the yellow and green sigils and whatnot, because they're from House Wild. Whereas the green ones are Estermonts because they're from the Narrow Sea. Some more Hightowers. Then some Gardeners here. These are the actual Gardeners, as well as some guys from the Shield Islands here, the guys in blue. More of them, lots of swordsmen. So yeah, right now the Reach rosters and the Stormland rosters are basically mostly done. Let's see here, getting in some fights here, and this is going pretty well. Stormwardens can double as pretty effective heavy infantry as well. They're sort of a hybrid unit of crossbowmen and heavy swordsmen, so that's pretty nice. I'm doing pretty good here. I nerfed pikemen quite a bit, but they're still pretty good. I mean, they aren't like as overpowered as they were in the last in 1.0. But yeah, so they're going to take casualties and whatnot, and you can technically attack them with other things apart from pikemen. But yeah, and that's going pretty well. I'm going to try swinging my outriders here around to try and flank them. They're all sort of getting stuck on my infantry here that I have in these big blocks. And so yeah, their outriders are retreating. They're sending in their knights to reinforce, but I think I can take these guys. And yeah, so right now they're sort of throwing themselves at me, and thus far they've been failing, fortunately. I probably should have spread out my infantry a bit, instead of just having them all sort of clumped up. Or my archers, I mean, sorry. And yeah, so we've managed to completely break this flank here. The Manderleys are all retreating. Well, the Manderleys were originally from the Reach and all that before they fled to the north. And yeah, so they're currently in the Reach for this mod. And But unfortunately, the Red Lions are moving their troops in now, so they have their Pila unit. Let's see if they can do their thing. So yeah, they basically throw like one volley of spears, or like javelins, and then they're gonna move up with their swordsmen and whatnot. And here they come. See, they're pulling out their swords. We're also seeing some Manderly men-at-arms here as well. They're moving in. Fortunately, my center line of pikemen is holding out, though not super well. Here, I'm gonna... Where's my Storm Wardens? There. I'm gonna send my Storm Wardens up here to reinforce, because these pikemen are kind of getting their butts kicked. You can see, like, I tried to incorporate even more heraldry than there was last time, so you'll see, like, a whole bunch of new houses. Like, Dondarian, Grandison, then up here, Penrose, Morgan. They all have their own castles, their own houses, whatnot. So, yeah. Unfortunately, my Storm Wardens here are finally breaking, but I sort of had them out of position anyways. And they're throwing their troops in here again. And I missed that there with my, the engagement here with my knights. I'm gonna pull my knights back and try and charge these guys down. I don't want to get them stuck fighting infantry like hand to hand. So let's see here. You guys charge. You guys charge. You guys swing around the flank here. And unfortunately, my allies here, their allies have completely collapsed, unfortunately. So the Estermonts are no longer going to be a force in this. So it's going to be just me against everyone else. And also, unfortunately, my Outriders are also getting their butts kicked. I'm going to pull these guys back here while I still can.
Our allies have fled the field
like
cowards.
So like I said, I'm probably going to lose this one. I have mostly been concentrating on just looking at stuff rather than, you know, fighting and winning. But, yeah. Okay. See, I'm just going to fight it out here with my cavalry. Normally I would pull them back to try and get a good flanking charges in, but I'm just going to fight this one out here. Going up against these guys, yeah, these Outriders here are retreating, but unfortunately House Hightower sent in some of their heavy knights to deal with me. So that's going to be a problem for me. These guys here are Storm Wardens. They're these sort of hybrid halberd crossbow units, and they're coming in now to fight my guys. They're also flaming me with hateful messages and flaming arrows. I really should have spread these guys out. But oh well, too late now. Well, not necessarily too late now, but you know. And let's fire into this concentration of infantry here. These guys could use a bit of a killing. All right, let's pull you up here so I can get a flanking charge on them. And unfortunately, though, as you can see here, they already have Outriders sweeping around my flanks to try and kill me, and it's not good. I'm going to try and save my archers here instead of trying to get a flanking movement on these knights. And these guys here, no, I don't want you to run away. Don't friggin' run away. I told you not to run away. So... Alright, so I think I wiped out these Outriders here. But unfortunately, their overlord, the Gardner Outriders, are still around.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Unfortunately, that only refers to the guys that like the army that I've directly been fighting this whole time. And yeah, my knights have just gotten like totally pasted. There's like none of them left. Got a couple of guys here. There's Lord Dondarian there. He's gonna come back to life and murder everything, which would be awesome. Yeah. Alright, let's save the knights, get them out of there. Okay, let's flank these levies.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
These Arbor Marines actually held out really well, surprisingly. So yeah, these guys are broken, that's good.
Lord, preserve us. We have lost half of our men.
Yeah, fortunately my glorious knights are actually doing some damage here against the enemy. Here, let's hit them. And my pike line is basically evaporated. I don't think I have anything. Do I even have any pikemen left? See, they're all dead, yeah. Alright, well, my central line no longer exists. Oh, no, I have a couple of guys here. These Marcher guys. My knights are cutting a giant swath through the enemy, but it's not enough. I mean, we're still taking so many losses that it's not really going to work. And plus, they've managed to pull in some better units here, and they're sending in more men-at-arms to kill me. Actually, no, they're swinging them around the flank. So yeah, my knight's awesome, glorious glory charge has been stopped, and that's sort of that. My sergeants are retreating, my pikemen are retreating.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
I still have a couple of sergeants here. No, they're broken. These guys are basically intact, actually. But they're just throwing more troops at them. I mean, it's one of those things where they just have so many troops to throw at me that there's basically no chance anymore. They aren't pushing through the center, but there's nobody to stop them. So yeah, now they are. These guys here from the Dornish Marches.
General has thrown his life away,
yeah, he's dead.
And perhaps our chances of victory.
Yeah, these pikemen from the Dornish Marches have held out pretty darn well, mostly because they've been throwing levies and men-at-arms at them instead of pikemen. But yeah, I lose here. I'm just gonna fight it out until I die. But these guys are actually also surprisingly intact. There's like this unit here of sergeants. They've basically just been bypassed the entire battle. So now we're gonna fight these guys, but they're gonna kick these guys' asses. And yeah, my knights have broken, and they're just getting run down by these Gardener knights here. They're just massacring my army. So yeah, the take-home lesson is this.
The enemy are badly blooded. They have lost half their men.
Take-home lesson, do not go to war with the Breach. They have billions and billions of dudes. Here's some more Shield Islands guys. The Shield Islands is a pretty limited roster because they're not very big. But basically, yeah, they'll sort of be a separate region where it's like if you conquer them, you can recruit special stuff there. So they're pretty nice. I don't want them to be too overpowered at all because there's basically I have all 4 islands. And I don't want them to basically be as powerful as the Iron Islands. But yeah, anyways. So now these guys here are still holding out, as are these guys. Yeah. These Dornish Marches guys have been holding out really well, actually. I mean, it's not going to last. These guys will just keep getting pounded. And unfortunately, they keep throwing their mediocre cavalry at me, so... Now they're sending in more guys. Sheesh. I basically killed like half the chivalry of the Reach thus far. I mean, it hasn't quite been Agincourt levels, but it's getting close. Unfortunately, these guys are now just going to be shooting me in the back, and... Do I have anything left apart from, like, those 2 guys? I don't think I do. Yeah, really I have nobody left apart from, like... Well, no, they're all dead. Yeah.
God preserve us! We have been dealt a stinging defeat today.
Oh well, still was fun. Upside of Medieval 2 is that you can actually fight these huge battles and they work pretty well. So yeah, enemies killed. I killed like I killed many more people than I had, so that's something at least. But yeah, that was just a quick battle showing off those 2 rosters. Unfortunately, those are the only 2 regions, like the Reach and the Stormlands, that are basically done. Everything else is still very much a work in progress. But yeah, it's coming along. Expect more updates and whatnot soon. Yeah, Admiral Thrawn signing off.